Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another reaction time. And Save the World is becoming free in like a week on the 16th. Right now, it's just the 4th or the 9th. I mean, April. Um, but yeah, on the 16th of this month, 2026, Save the World becomes free. I already have Save the World, but yeah, let's just react to like the unused stuff in Save the World because apparently there's a lot. So.
Recently, Epic Games has been reworking Save the World and actively testing new things behind the scenes. Now that the mode has been officially announced to go free to play next month, it's an exciting time to be a fan for a game.
No, but yeah, like check it. I'm gonna leave the link to this video of the original person in the comments, so and in the description. So yeah, go check them out.
Mode that has been left unfinished. But with such a long history, including a 6-year development period before launch, it also means that the game has built up a lot of cut content throughout the years. As part of my Fortnite cut content series, we're going to take a look at Save the World, Fortnite's original core mode, and explore the cut content and unused ideas that were once planned for the game throughout its development. This video will probably pique your interest just like it did with me while researching all this information.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Yeah, I'm actually curious. 'Cause I haven't played a lot of Save the World, but you know, I've seen enough, I guess. So yeah.
Including things that haven't really been talked before. So grab some popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy. According to a source, Fortnite started out under the name Holdouts, a version of the game.
What the fuck, bro? Are y'all seeing this shit? What the fuck? That's what their zombies were supposed to look like? No, that's actually insane.
That existed well before the Unreal Engine 3 building game demo. It used assets from Gears of War 3
Damn.
since the project originally came out of an internal
That's so
jam
cool.
at Epic Games in 2011. A developer from this era claimed that they never named the game Holdouts, so it's unknown what it actually originally went by, but the source who gave out the build said that this was one of the names used. The project later evolved into the base building demo, which internally went by the name Project Fortress or simply Fortress. Now the next piece of information is a little bit
Damn, went from Fortress to Fortnite. What the fuck? That's funny.
harder to play since details about both Holdouts and Fortress are pretty scarce. But this is the first ever known image of Fortress. We can see that it appears to have an early version of the Taker and a massive shadow looming behind the building. Now,
Bro, that thing in the background looked like the motherfucking Mind Flare from Stranger Things, if you know, you know.
interestingly, this massive shadow looming behind the building resembles a creature from the film The Mist, which is based on the 1990 novel by Stephen King. Elements in that story could have easily inspired.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie. I could have when I was a kid, but that does not ring a bell to me. The Mist. I'm gonna have to check it out after this video.
Elements from Save the World Storm and Monster Design, and perhaps an early version of this game. We don't have much information about Holdouts, but what we do have is a lot of information about Fortress, beginning with the game's icon, which features two monsters that are known as ghosts, and a farm in the background. These two ghosts are human Latmans from Gears of War 3, and the difference is that they were retextured for the game's icon. The game stars a character known as FN Guy, or as the community calls him, John Fortress. His character had a different design at this time, but he was featured all throughout Fortnite's
John Fortress is crazy. This John Fortress
development. He also had some voice lines.
Turn on the generator! Oh no! Here they come!
You spawn in a map with a generator and a sign that says welcome to Limbo, which I will explain what this is soon. The generator asset will later be reused for the Survive the Storm mission. Definitely one of the highlights of this game is the nighttime, as it felt like a horror game, and something that further solidifies this is that when it was nighttime, a red text appears letting the player know that husks are coming to invade your fort, and that you will need to protect your base. Once you have survived the night in your base, the game will tell you that you have survived the night and the cycle goes on. Character customization was planned, such as backpacks, hats, and even outfits. Charms were also present in this version, such as a
That's pretty cool, I guess.
teddy bear that would have been equipped for the backpack.
So like instead of buying it with V-Bucks, just earn that bitch. That's cool. We see how they treat that now.
I also want to point out that there were also charms present in the Battle Royale files, but I don't know if those came from this version of the game. Epic also planned to add some sort of ATK dune buggy vehicle to the game as seen in this concept art, but they ended up sticking with a Segway. Not much is known about this vehicle though. Earlier, I mentioned the generator and a sign that says welcome to Limbo. While this was actually a script, I mentioned that internal design documents describe it as follows. Periodically, non-player buildings in this world will be enveloped in a mist creature storm. When this happens, all players in the building
Bro, I wonder how like similar the keybinds are versus now, versus back then in like early development, how you would build.
killed, and when the storm finally passes, the building will be replaced by a brand new building, thus keeping a steady stream of new loot opportunities introduced into the map. However, if players place their power generator inside the building before it's consumed by the storm, then all players inside the building instead get transported to Limbo, the mist creature's homeworld. Because it's nighttime when this happens, Limbo is mostly empty of monster creatures, so the players can explore and mine unique resources from Limbo. There's a giant obelisk at the center of Limbo, which is the gateway between their world and our world. The player's ultimate goal in the game is to destroy or plug up the obelisk. Players are eventually pulled out of Limbo and kicked back into the real world. If they happen to be inside another sucked into Limbo human building, then they ride that building back into the real world and end up in a completely different map in the human world. In this way, Limbo serves as a sort of hub, allowing players to transfer between different human world maps. Limbo's home to mist creatures. Players could enter under certain conditions. Rare mineable resources are found everywhere, and a giant center obelisk fuels the gate to Earth. Closing the gate is the endgame. Strongholds are present, and they are described as, these great structures were once called strongholds. Strongholds were a massive mist monster fortresses that represented one of the major challenges for the player to work towards conquering. Players who managed to retake all three strongholds in the game world would beat the game. Other maps that can be found in this version are a farm map, a lake map, which could be very well a second version of the main map. Test City _P is actually still used to this day as the reflection materials in Fortnite. Hansi _Test map has these eerie looking takers, which I'll dive into just a second. Tonks doesn't have much other than something that looks like an atlas, a castle map, the Fortnite logo map that predates the original trailer logo, and a couple more test maps.
Fortnite. Instead of like night NIDE, it was literally like nighttime. That makes sense.
So we don't have much information on, with some screenshots of what the environment looked like. As I mentioned before, Epic made the Taker a really scary entity who would be able to jump scare you. Now, it is assumed to be part of a soul suck mechanic that would suck the soul out of your character, leaving you dead on the ground and unable to be revived. Oh, and if Epic didn't try to scare you enough already, listen to how he sounds.
I'm coming for you.
No, that's actually cool as fuck.
You are mine.
I want to hear that.
You got
it. Death. He just said death.
According to internal documents, the Taker is a mysterious enemy that is tied.
The Takers, mysterious enemies. They're behind the mystery, will never reveal the truth. They retreat from light and have many different manifestations. We'll roll more of them out across updates. Light equals gameplay, economy, live, danger queue, teamwork, and first one example 2.
To a mystery that we will never know. They also retreat from light and have different manifestations. Trolls, also known as thieves in this version of the game, would also show up on your base and attempt to steal from you. There are actually some voice lines that talk about stealing and mocking the player. These, however, were later removed sometime later in other versions, but here's a small snippet of how the thief sounded like.
Bro, I don't remember if they sound like that in game. Like in the actual current build. Huh. Interesting.
Mine. Ooh, stolen.
That sounds
Steal. Steal. Got it. You suck. I took it all from you, and now I'm running away.
No,
And you're going to cry all night. You'll never catch me. I'm going to take your stuff.
Epic also planned out biome pitches such as Transylvania, Egypt, and a snow biome. I assume the
Oh, that's
Egypt
cool. What
biome
the
was
hell?
later reworked years later into Canny Valley, and Transylvania into Hexylvania. Out of all of
Mhm.
these 3 biomes, Transylvania has much more details, such as a vampire enemy that can drain blood by bloodsucking which the player can escape from. The vampire can also get killed at sunrise. There was also a boss version that only spawns in Dracula's castle, and if you try to fight it until it has 10% of its health left, he turns into a swarm of bats and tries to escape and will reappear after regeneration, but if the player shoots the bats before he disappears, then the vampire is killed. Other enemies were planned.
Okay, so before I even get to that, of how fucking cool that sounds, are we gonna not question what the like which build this is? Like, is this even Fortnite? Like, is this even like what is he playing? Like, what build is this? Like,
As a werewolf that would wander around trying to find a player to attack and could sniff,
werewolf.
howl, jump, attack with a blood frenzy ability. The next enemy was
cool.
called Ghostly
I love
Lady,
werewolves.
and not much is known about this one other than it has some sort of dash attack going as fast as 3 tiles per second. We could probably assume that this is the lady seen in the game's icon. Here's some of the characters they made for this game as part of character customization, as well as some early iterations of characters. I honestly love how they give off Gears vibes. Fortress is planned to release in Q1 2012 on Steam out of all platforms, as the first Unreal 3 engine game. Plans for Adobe Flash, PlayStation 3 in Q2 2012, and Xbox were also in the works. No builds of this game have surfaced yet and it remains lost media. Fortress will later be renamed to Fortnite and was ready to be revealed as such, but Epic's legal department discovered that the trademark wasn't available, so the spelling was later changed to what we know it as today. At San Diego Comic-Con 2012,
All right. If you guys wanna watch me do a part 2 and react to it, this video getting a little bit too long. I don't really do like long reactions, but yeah, this video is a long video. It's 35 minutes. So if y'all guys want a part 2, like for me to finish the rest of it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, go check out the original video because I don't wanna, take over the whole video. Go check it out, watch the full thing, like, subscribe to that channel, and with that, peace.